Hey y'all, Irix guy here. Had the DJI Osmo for a few weeks now, and I just wanted to talk about it. Now, ultimately, with it being hurricane season, it's not an optimal time to be able to go outside and get consistently good daylight. But since I do have good daylight today, I've had my first real opportunity to test the video quality and obviously audio quality too of the Osmo to know how it performs. Now, if you've watched my videos, you probably know that I'm a big Sony camera guy. If you haven't, be sure to subscribe. It's youtube.com/Irix guy. And also check the link within this video's description to snagbear.com or 400orbelow.com, which are my websites where you can find the Osmo and the various Osmo accessories, tutorial videos, you name it. It's all there. But I like to attack any piece of new technology from an average Joe on the block type perspective. And what I mean by that is that the majority of people in society today are likely lazy people. So they're likely going to pick up a product, they're likely going to charge the battery, maybe they don't even charge the battery, stick in a memory card and they're going to hit the field with it. So from that perspective, the Osmo presents a unique set of challenges for a first-time user. And what I mean by that, and you can check out my other video where I show the lock and unlock, but for travel mode, you actually lock the Osmo so it doesn't jerk around, the gimbal doesn't move around while it's in transport. So there's a lock on the camera, there's a lock right there, and then there's a lock up and down there, but there's also a lock on this little ridgy piece right here. And in my opinion, that's where they could have better marked that. They could have put a little piece of yellow tape saying, hey, do not unlock this before operation. It'll cause the camera to detach. So unlocking that one, although it's marked with a lock and unlock icon like the other points of lock and unlock, it's a simple point of failure, and actually the first time in the field, because I like to approach technology from that average Joe perspective. I was out in the field, I just did everything. I'm like, why am I not getting video? And I wasn't getting video because I had actually detached the camera from the gimbal. So had I been on a boat, had I been over a hard surface, tilted the camera sideways, my camera could have fallen off, it could have gotten lost or broken before I even had a chance to experience the power of the Osmo. So that's an area for improvement from a design perspective. I know it's it's something that's documented in owner's manual, but how many people are going to take the time to read an owner's manual? A lot of people are not going to take the time to read an owner's manual. So from that perspective, I would better mark the product. The assembly of the unit itself is very high quality. It's not a super thick plastic, but if you look at the back, you'll see that very nice, what I would like to, I don't know the name of the material, but it's kind of a semi-hard, soft type rubber with grip. You can see the little grippiness on it. Feels really good in your hand. Obviously, this is not a waterproof camera like a GoPro is, and that's another point I wanted to bring up. Even if you have a GoPro that's in a waterproof housing, most of the gimbals, at least the ones that I'm aware of for the GoPro, do not allow the GoPro to be used inside the waterproof housing. And if they do, I'm not aware of a gimbal for GoPro where the gimbal's waterproof. So even if your GoPro wasn't a waterproof housing on a gimbal, if the gimbal itself's not waterproof, what advantage is that going to provide you? So a lot of people are, and I've got the Hero 4 Black with a Feiyu gimbal and monopod extension, so I've experienced both. And I can confidently tell you from my in the field perspective that the Osmo provides superior 4K 30 frames per second video quality as well as stability. I get better stability from this handheld mount than I do with my GoPro on Feiyu gimbal plus Feiyu gimbal monopod extension. So that's a real testament to the design quality of the gimbal, and then also the camera that's on top of this, which is a Sony Exmor based camera. And if you've watched my videos, you know that I'm a big Sony camera guy. Actually, this face on video that I'm filming now, I'm filming with a very high quality Sony 4K camera. Check the link within this video's description. You can find which one it is. And I've just been really impressed with Sony. So it's great that Sony is part of my handheld gimbal stabilized camera arsenal as well. What is really bad about this camera, and I mean this in a positive way, the audio in this Osmo camera is terrible. You can hear it right now, listen. That's the fan on the camera. So the built-in mic on the camera is picking up the fan noise from the camera's fan. It's not an optimal solution. It's not even good for less than professional audio. So if you're just going out to shoot a video for fun and want to pick up a little bit of audio, your friends are probably soon be like, man, would you have a fan on your head when you were filming this, or something along those lines to insult you, because the audio is that bad. With that said, it's good that it's there, because on my Phantom 3, I did not have audio on the Phantom 3 camera. So the beauty of having audio is that what I can do is I can use this audio for reference only, and then I can actually externally record my professional audio, sync it with this terrible quality audio in post-production, and then remove or mute this Osmo audio, leaving only the pro quality externally recorded audio. So from that perspective, it's good. But if you're buying this with the expectation that you're going to have a camera plus audio with audio quality that's as good, if not better, than GoPro audio, GoPro camera audio knocks this in the dirt. I mean, this is terrible audio. So, you know, definitely a situation where you would want to externally record that audio and use this as a point of reference in post to sync your pro audio with it. So that's a gripe there. Now, one thing I do like about this is that the battery door is very easy to open and close. If you've dealt with a GoPro gimbal solution like I have with the Feiyu, especially if you're using the monopod extension, you've probably done the same thing I've done. So I was out over the ocean, and when you add the monopod extension to the Feiyu for the GoPro, you've got to unscrew that top extension because the power button is recessed inside. But a point of failure that you may have had too, that you may have encountered also, is when you unscrewed that to power off your Feiyu gimbal after filming, you probably unscrewed it too high, and the result of that is that instead of unscrewing where the switch is revealed, you unscrewed where the batteries were in the Feiyu gimbal handle, and then the battery just fell to the ground. In my case, it fell in the ocean, so those batteries were gone forever. With this, I don't have that issue. You know, I know when I open this up, the battery's going to be in there. The batteries for this, what I like are and I'll turn it off and show you. Let me turn off it's easy to turn on and off with a on-off switch. So the batteries for this are really nice. It just slides out, and it's got that little piece right there that if your fingers can't grab it, it can grab it. But it's a, let's see, 980 milliamp. So it makes me wonder, as the popularity of, as this Osmo becomes more popular and more well heard of, makes me wonder if there's going to be a lot of third-party battery manufacturers that are going to make DJI Osmo batteries, and if so, are they going to have a higher milliamp rating? As this sits, this is supposed to provide, I think, around 60 minutes. Check the link within this video's description for more specifics. But I think it's supposed to provide around 60 minutes of battery life, and to get that much 4K video filming time out of such a small and lightweight battery is very nice for me. You know, I can take this battery, put a couple extras in my field bag, and I'm not overly encumbered like I am when I take my Phantom 3, because when I'm taking my Phantom 3, obviously the Phantom 3 itself is big, and then when I add the batteries, you know, that adds more weight and bulk. So I'm carrying around a big case, which isn't a complaint because I'm getting ultra impressive 4K aerial videos. But when you don't want to carry around all the size and weight, and you don't really care if you're in the sky or not, but you want to get video quality that is close to drone video quality in 4K, or whatever you're filming in. I film everything in 4K, but this is a great option to consider for that. It's just got, I mean, there's a lot of testaments to build quality. This little mount right here, which I use the iPod Touch, it won't work with all iPod Touches, but again, check the link within this video's description for the one that I use. I feel that it makes the perfect size display for this. And obviously it uses the same app, the DJI Go app that my Phantom 3 uses, so that's convenient. The difference is that with my Phantom 3, the iPod Touch is physically tethered to the Phantom 3 controller with a little iOS cable that I use. This uses Wi-Fi. Well, now if you had a Phantom 3 Standard, you'd be using Wi-Fi with it, but I use the Phantom 3 Professional. So, you know, it's good to have that same app. I don't have to juggle two different apps on my iPod Touch to fly this. But the build quality of this mount is just super nice. They did a really good job on that. It almost makes me wonder, and I know cost becomes an issue, but it makes me wonder if they did this much to the holder of the, in my case, the iPod Touch, why didn't they consider making an aluminum type body for the gimbal itself? And will we see, and again, this is the first Osmo, but for future versions of the Osmo, will we see a completely waterproof version? Meaning that if you want to take it out in the ocean, you can just take gimbal and camera with you. I mean, obviously that is not an option with this because this is not waterproof. But is that something that we may see in an upcoming revision of the DJI Osmo? Because I know I would personally be interested, because then you can snorkel with it, and you could snorkel with it and do all of those things. But you know, it makes me wonder with a gimbal, if you you know, when you go underwater, there's a water pressure. So it makes me wonder how they would compensate, if they did develop a waterproof gimbal, how they would compensate for the increase in pressure that one will encounter while under the water. But even if it wasn't used underwater, just to take it out in the ocean and maybe get a few splashes on it, that would be great if they had a waterproof option available. Obviously, this is not even close to water resistant. It's got the open area there for the fan to blow the camera. So yeah, just a great device. And you know, as I mentioned earlier, this little joystick up, down, left, and right, that's really neat. The still photos, the record video, the on-off button, and then obviously the trigger up here where you can, when you're walking, you can kind of lock in on an object. Really cool feature. And then obviously in the app itself, you've got functionality to do stuff virtually using the app, with soft buttons within the app versus the physical buttons on the camera. So however you like to film, this has a way to do it. It does have a mic jack right there, but again, the recording audio from this is, my opinion, and I'm not, if you watch my videos, I've got some videos that look quite decent, but I'm not by any means a pro audio or pro video kind of guy. I just like to have fun. But even for me having fun, this audio is unacceptable, in my opinion, for anything beyond reference. But for my intended purposes, the audio being built in is a gift, because it enables me to sync my pro audio in post. So that's what I need. Yeah, this thing, I could ramble on and on about it, but the main thing is that it's a sunny day, so I'm going to walk around and get some footage. Check the link within this video's description. You can find the various Osmo bundles, and then also the various Osmo video clips that I put together. And tell me what you think. I've heard feedback across the board. I've heard people say it's a piece of junk, which I strongly disagree with that. I've heard people say that the audio is terrible, I want to send it back. I can agree with that. If someone got this with the expectation that the audio would be at least decent, they were probably very disappointed. They were deeply disappointed, which I can appreciate that. So, that's a fair comment in my opinion. People saying that the GoPro is a better solution because it's waterproof, well, that's obviously not a fair statement, because show me a gimbal for GoPro that is waterproof that will allow the GoPro in the waterproof housing to be on top of that gimbal. Show me that. So from that reason, I disagree. I feel that the video quality of the Osmo in 4K 30 greatly exceeds the video quality of the Hero 4 in 4K 30, and that's just my experience dealing with the thousands of videos that I've uploaded to YouTube to date. So but tell me what you think. What other feedback do you have? Because I want to hear it. This is new technology, and not everybody is willing to embrace new technology. So that's I don't expect it to be perfect. Yeah, I wish they had included better audio for everybody else, but I'm satisfied with it for reference. But anyway, check the link within this video's description. You can find the various bundles and my field test videos. You can see for yourself how it performs for me. Y'all have a good day, and be sure to subscribe. youtube.com/IrixGuy.